What's up, familia? Soy JG, and this is my YouTube channel. Bienvenidos a mi Q&A. I'm gonna dive right in because the neighbor started cutting his yard, and this is the only time I have. So, how did you and your husband meet? We met at Stovall. He remembers meeting me because I was walking away from Stovall, and he was like trying to talk to me, trying to catch my attention. Y dice que yo le dije, fuck off, fat boy. Which may be true because I was mean. Es que yo no soy perro. I don't like it. I don't like when people like just try to, hey, what's up? Say shout. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. I never have. The way I remember meeting him is because one of our mutual friends hooked us up with each other's friends. So, él andaba con mi amiga y yo andaba con el amigo de él. And that didn't really last for long because, like, me and him had more in common, but since we had gone out with other people, we were just like best friends, you know? So, I was 13 and he was like 14. What do you think of your brother being in the military or being a soldier? The climate of things, I don't like how the Latino community gets treated, even though they have served for this country. But I'm proud of Jonathan. When he sets his mind to something, he gets it done and he works at it. He gives it his all, and I love to see it, you know? How tall are you? Okay, so legally I'm 5 feet. That's what it says on my state ID. But really I'm 4'10" and a half. But I'm not gonna put that down on no documentation though. What's the most dramatic situation that's occurred in your life? So, telling my parents I was pregnant a week before my quinceañera, definitely the most dramatic situation ever. I'm gonna make a separate video because it's too much. You know, they jumped me. My dad hit somebody's truck. Is it hard to keep the bedroom alive after kids? Yes. Yes and no. Okay, so yes, because obviously we live with our kids and they're always here. We can't shake them. Pero no, because honestly, if you and your partner have an agreement and you work towards a common goal, you get it done. It's about everybody doing their part, and if you care about intimacy in your relationship, work at it. How do you keep 3 girls entertained? We have a lot of options. They can watch educational shows or movies. We have educational toys laying around, or we have little apps that they can play. Push comes to shove, they just watch TV and get on the tablet. We have days like that, or we have trampolines. We have play kitchens, playgrounds. I mean, honestly, my kids are spoiled. They have everything, and if they say they're bored, if they have the audacity, las pongo a limpiar, you know? What are some things growing up that made you who you are today? My parents getting split up and feeling like I had to choose between them. I know moving forward, if I ever have to deal with that, I don't want my kids to feel like that. So it affected my parenting now. Also, raising a kid by yourself, it changes you. Admitting that I had a mental illness and trying to get help for it. Growing up, it was just one of those things you don't talk about because a lot of Hispanic homes are like that. Estás loca, you know, you're not depressed. Eres inútil, ponte a hacer algo, ponte a limpiar. You're lazy if, you know what I mean? So that molded me as a mom today because I know what to look out for when it comes to my kids and their behavior based on what I was going through and what I felt when I was little. ¿Es Reebok o es Nike? Es Nike. What are the most important lessons you want your children to learn? How to respect other people's cultures, how to respect people's lifestyles and identities, and learning that you don't ever have to tune your voice down for anybody. You let it be known and let it be heard. Have the courage behind it and back it up. Speak your mind. You have a lovely family. Thank you. Can you talk about pregnancy, pre and post care, and the hardest parts? Okay, so the first pregnancy wasn't planned. I didn't get to prepare my body for that pregnancy. And after I had my baby, I didn't have support. I was just figuring things out as I went along. So I didn't know how to properly take care of my body, and I was breastfeeding. I wasn't eating the right things to breastfeed successfully. I wasn't, doing bed rest like they tell you to. I was a mess after my first pregnancy. I ended up hemorrhaging and having to get a blood transfusion because I was about to die because I was not taking care of myself. The second pregnancy was planned, and I was treated like a princess. So I was able to prepare my body better. I had a okay pregnancy, and after I gave birth, like I said, I was a princess. I didn't have to get up for nothing. My husband helped me with everything. He supported me. He made sure, he was being helpful with my postpartum depression. He made sure that I was wearing my faja. Like, he's it. My third pregnancy was not planned, so I didn't prepare my body at all. It was rocky at first, and then at the end, it was a good process. Honestly, my last pregnancy was the best, no complaints. And my water broke on its own. I was just very chill, very prepared, and my husband took care of me. Honestly, he's the real MVP because he made sure that I didn't have to go up and down these stairs. He made sure that he was feeding me properly, making sure that my milk ducts weren't clogged. Like, he was just... Having good support makes a difference when you're dealing with that kind of recovery. The hardest part's definitely feeling sore. You never get used to that. No matter how many kids you have, you never get used to the sore feeling, and just learning how to stay your ass in bed. It's a learning process. You have to listen to your body, give it what it needs. If it needs a little more, if you need somebody to gas you up and remind you that you're that person, and you need that mental support, that emotional support, don't be afraid to ask for it. That was the hardest part for me, admitting that sometimes I need help. What was the difference between the first and the second pregnancy? I was a minor the first pregnancy. Nobody took me serious. The doctors didn't listen to me when I was in pain or when I had concerns. I had to depend on my parents to help me with appointments and showing up with me to the doctor, because that's just how it was back then. My second pregnancy, I was an adult. I got to make my own decisions. I didn't have to depend on anybody else. And things were just smoother because I had a supportive partner. Best tips for moms. Don't be scared to ask for help, or don't feel ashamed because you need help. We're taught, in at least the Latino community, we're taught that si tú te llegas a embarazar, tú tienes que cuidar a esos niños, tienes que cuidar tu hogar, tienes que cuidar a tu esposo. And sometimes we feel ashamed as women if we don't live up to those standards. Let me tell you, if you have a good partner, they're not gonna love you any less because you don't get some of the things done that you're supposed to get done. If you have a good partner, they will do those things for you if you're lacking, because they know that you're carrying their child, or you already have their child. If they love you, they'll support you. You don't need to sit here and feel ashamed. If you need a little extra help and you need to talk to somebody because you have postpartum depression, don't ignore it. Ask for help. Go see somebody. Talk to a counselor. Talk to your OB. Let them know what's going on, how you're feeling. Sometimes it's better to talk to a stranger than it is to talk to somebody you know. And that's that. Don't be so hard on yourself, moms. You got this. Pros and cons about marriage. Okay, so this is specific to my marriage because I know not everybody's marriage is the same, but a con is I don't like sharing my food. I make you your own food, eat your own food. Don't eat my food. Also, I had to learn how to let my husband have an input on my decisions because I was a single mom for a really long time. So whenever I got married and I would make decisions, I kind of had to like, wait, what do you think? You know what I mean? Because it started to become an issue that I would make my own decisions and no lo tomaba en cuenta. So learning how to do that is super hard, especially because when you're independent, it's really hard to feel like your independence is being taken away from you. Pros about marriage: you have support. You have somebody who's gonna back you up no matter what. You have somebody who's going to defend you against the world, and somebody who will stay with your kids while you need to gather yourself in the room while you cry your sorrows away. Sometimes that happens to me, and my husband got me. He'll come and give me a hug and then come and deal with my loud kids. What are musts in a relationship? Honesty, trust, respect, inclusion. What else? Compromise. Learn how to compromise, ladies. It's okay. You don't have to be submissive if you don't want to. But in this marriage by yourself. Do you plan on having more kids? No. The factory's closed. I got a tubal ligation after I had my last baby because I need to focus in school. I don't have that much longer to go before I can get into nursing school. And I don't plan on having any more retrasos. Not that I don't love my kids, but it's super hard going to school pregnant. It's just, I don't need a hormonal imbalance while I'm studying for my tests. I'm going to school for nursing, yes. I'm finishing off my basics and I'm trying to get a really good grade in my anatomy class because nursing school is really competitive. So I want to have the grades to get into a really good program. And after that, I'm going for my bachelor's, and then we're just moving on up the ladder until I can be a nurse practitioner or something along those lines. I love the medical field and I always have, and I'm gonna do the damn thing because I say I am. You know? Sorry if I didn't answer your question. I don't have a lot of time. It's a process to do this, and I recorded this video like 4 or 5 different times and I didn't like it, and this is my last attempt, so I hope I can go with it. If not, y'all are just gonna find a whole bunch of different pieces put together, and support me if you want to. Hey, so comment, like, share, subscribe, turn on your little notification bell so you could hear me coming through. Send it to my haters para que me vean bien bonita, mira. Mira. No foundation, homie. Oh, like Jossy said, so you can see me poking like swingers. Guys, so